Hello, everybody. Matthew Montoya, Partner Enablement and Training Manager with your Marketing Minute. This week's Marketing Minute is going to be focused on community, and those of you participating in the 12 Weeks of Business campaign know that community is the focus this week as well. Now, we are going to dive into two particular aspects of community: Critique My Campaign and the solution provider focused Critique My Campaign.
So as I said there at the beginning, we're going to dive into, quite frankly, my favorite part of community. I have used this in countless trainings and sessions, and I'll explain how I've done that. I think it's a really useful tool to help with conversions and certainly cementing education. I also think that there's some advantages in education for yourself, and we'll go ahead and say the potential lead generation for you. Before I go too much further, let me just clarify, in case anybody hasn't been to community, it is a place you want to be. As a solution provider, you're going to have access to a world of information about Constant Contact, our customers, some of the challenges they have. You'll get to see the staff respond to them. You can interact with Constant Contact staffers. You can learn from your peers. There is a ton of information on community. But that said, you do need to log in to your solution provider Constant Contact account. So the account that you have that you use for your business, you're going to log into that. And then usually what I do is open up a separate tab and I type in community.constantcontact.com. That's going to create the connection between your solution provider account and community and allow you to post as a solution provider. Once you come to community, there's all sorts of features in here, and you can actually refer to a marketing minute I did a few months ago on some of the higher level details of community. As I did a walkthrough of, we're going to zero in on knowledge and support and Critique My Campaign. Now, I adore Critique My Campaign. First of all, it gives you a picture of where most small businesses and nonprofits sit as far as a marketing perspective. It gives you some insight into the way they think and the way they approach issues, technical problems, marketing issues. And as a solution provider talking to people about effective email marketing, you might just gain some insight into how to have that next conversation just by looking at some of these emails. Don't mean to dismiss them, but quite honestly, these folks need help, and they need your help. And so looking at these emails will give you an idea of where their heads are and maybe give you an idea how to approach them. Let's go ahead and without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into some. So these, I didn't build these. These are raw. They're really in here. They were submitted not too long ago, just a couple days ago. And we're going to start with this first one on the top. So they're looking for advice on an e-blast. So generally what they do is they'll post the link, the web link to the email. Let's see how this person did. Chamber of Commerce. I don't want to highlight the name to embarrass anybody. Let's just kind of scroll through this. So lots and lots of images, very little text, and the text that's there is much too tiny. A lot of content here, and this is very actually indicative of a lot of Chamber of Commerce emails. So if we think about an email like this, the kind of feedback you can say, now, first of all, Constant Contact staffer did respond, and then I actually responded too and gave them some tips and pointed them some webinars. But if I was a solution provider, I would jump in on this and I'd give them some critiques as well. Certainly see if there's an opportunity to do some business. Now, you want to be careful. I wouldn't overtly solicit my business through community, meaning, hey, give me a call, I can help you, and give me a phone number. But you might soft pitch it and say, hey, if you're looking for some help, here's my website, or if you'd like to talk, I'd be happy to call you. A soft pitch, and see if you can help that chamber. Look at another email, see how they did. I'm going to go back here. We're going to go to the next one. Let's see how they did. And here we go. Not that strong a call to action using buttons. And again, the text is on the pretty small side. They're not effectively using images. And it's a little long. A little better than that last email we looked at. Let's take a look at number 3 here. Take a look at the third one here in the row. This was submitted last month. They got the link in. Okay. Multiple columns. A serif font. Their logo's a little underplayed. The color schemes here are pretty overwhelming and not consistent with their brand. A lot of image-based content and just a lot of content in general. Really, your mind is starting to work through this, and why I'm so passionate about this is because you're getting to see that, you know, those clients you're working with are not unique and alone. If you've seen their emails, they probably look like that. But I can tell you from my experience being in front of so many small businesses and nonprofits, this is really common. These emails are extraordinarily common, and they really need your help, because you can imagine these poor small to medium-sized businesses and nonprofits trying to make money in email marketing. sending out this kind of content and this kind of email, they're probably not being as effective as they could be. Now, let me tell you how I positioned Critique My Campaign in live settings. So if any of you do public speaking and you're doing sessions, you could even do this with one to a few of you do that kind of training. What I would do is go through best practices, teach all of today's best practices, and then bring it back to Critique My Campaign, and I'd have the group critique the email based on what they'd learned. And that does a couple things. One, it cements the education. You can do callbacks into why is having this many images an issue, or why is the small font an issue. So you can call back and cement the training, but it also relieves the attendee from the pressure of their own email suffering the issues. They realize they're not alone, and it makes them feel better about the work that they've done, and it changes the relationship you might have with them. And instead of being sometimes a confrontational conversation about why you need to change, by seeing that other organizations do this and putting themselves in the mindset of a receiver of the email, the conversation can change. And so I would certainly, at the bare minimum, read these, submit your suggestions to them, just to keep yourself sharp. But there's a pile of leads sitting here that, if you're creative and careful in the way that you approach these, you could gain some business. Now I want to take the idea of Critique My Campaign and bridge that to what's going on this week in the 12 Weeks of Business program that we're running. I have to imagine I'm preaching to the choir here. I'm sure you are aware of the 12 Weeks of Business. This is a really great way for you to help yourself, help your clients, and have some fun. It's a great program that awards you points for activities that help your business and help your clients that ultimately lead up. You get enough points, you get entered into sweepstakes for some really great prizes. But I want to zero in on the calendar here for this particular week. So I'm launching this Marketing Minute on the 16th, and you can see that one of the things you're to do is to watch the Marketing Minute, which you're doing, so you're getting a point. But the focus for this entire week is community. Everything's going to be about community, and one of the items is going to be to share a holiday email, and maybe you can see where I'm going. I do want to highlight the rest of what's going on this particular week. As we go through the week, if I go to the Tuesday offerings here, there is a fantastic tutorial on offering the email newsletter service. If you read that, you get points, and you can see up there at the top the number of points you get. We're going to be talking about on Tuesday joining the partner discussion board and responding to questions and answer some. And then we move into, similarly, stop by and share some of your best new partner tips. That's going to be on Wednesday. Coming up on Thursday, that's the Thursday tweet. You're going to be tweeting about the client-facing holiday guides that we have. So if you tweet out that to your clients, you'll of course help them. I want to remember the 12 Weeks of Business hashtag 12 WOB. On Thursday, we're going to be talking about sharing best practices in presenting webinars and in-person events. And then you've got 3 holiday client-facing holiday guides to download and share. And then we're closing out the Community Week with more content on the partner discussion board, what has worked for you, what hasn't. But let me come back to today. So as you see here, I'm assuming you're watching this on Monday. You're probably watching this on other days. And do know you can actually complete these at any time. So you don't have to do them on the one particular day. But we are talking about basically a Critique My Campaign, but for you, with your peers, with a holiday theme. And so if you go to the partner discussion board, under partner discussions, you'll see that there is a Join the Holiday Campaign Critique thread here. And what you'll do is you'll share a screenshot or a link to a holiday-themed campaign that you've done for your business or for a client, and gain feedback from your peers, share with each other best practices, and ultimately you get points for every thread a comment that you make or reply. So you're gaining points towards those prizes. But much like I showed you in the customer-facing Critique My Campaign, this is a fantastic way to learn from others, to share your knowledge and increase everybody's business. This is going to be a great way for you to highlight your good work, learn from others, and gain some points towards those prizes.
So try visiting Community, Critique My Campaign, and especially the solution provider-centric holiday-themed Critique My Campaign to share best practices, learn from your colleagues, and perhaps find a customer or two. That's it for this week's Marketing Minute. We'll catch you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye.